You live in medieval London. The year is 1350. The streets are narrow, cramped, filthy. There are no sewers, no running water, no plumbing of any kind. When you need to relieve yourself, you use a cesspit, a deep hole in the ground, lined with stone or wood, located beneath or beside your home. And it fills. Week after week, month after month, it fills with human waste. Yours, your family's, your neighbors'. Eventually, it overflows. The smell becomes unbearable. Liquid seeps into the ground, into wells, into basements. Disease spreads. Something must be done. But who would do it? Who would descend into a pit of excrement, waist deep, sometimes deeper, and shovel it out by hand? You wouldn't. No one would. Except them, the Gong Farmers. The men society needed but refused to acknowledge. The men who worked in darkness, in filth, in danger. The men who sometimes never came back up. A cesspit isn't just a hole. It's an engineered structure, crude but functional. Most are 6 to 8 meters deep, 2 meters wide. Brick-lined if you're wealthy. Wooden planks if you're not. Over time, the waste compacts, layers upon layers, solid at the bottom, liquid at the top. The smell is beyond description. It's not just foul, it's violent. It invades your lungs, clings to your hair, saturates your clothes. In summer, the heat makes it worse. The pit ferments. Gases build. You can hear it sometimes, a low bubbling sound from below. Flies swarm in black clouds. Rats tunnel through the edges, spreading filth into neighboring properties. And when the pit is full, when waste begins to overflow into the street or seep into your cellar, you have no choice. You call for a Gong Farmer, and you pray they come quickly. Because living above a full cesspit is living above a bomb. The work begins at night. Always at night. By law, Gong Farmers are forbidden from working during daylight hours. The reason is simple: the stench. When a cesspit is opened and disturbed, the smell is so overwhelming it can empty entire streets. People vomit. Children faint. So the work is done between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. under cover of darkness. You watch them arrive. 2, sometimes 3 men. They carry wooden buckets, shovels, long hooks. Their clothes are already stained brown, blackened, rotting. They don't speak much. They know what's waiting. One man descends first, lowering himself into the pit on a rope ladder. The darkness swallows him. You hear splashing, scraping, low curses. He fills the buckets. His partners haul them up, dump the contents into a cart, then lower the buckets again. 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 For hours. In the cold. In the dark. In hell. The gases are silent killers. Methane, hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide. They accumulate at the bottom of cesspits, invisible, odorless in concentrations high enough to kill. Methane displaces oxygen. Hydrogen sulfide attacks the nervous system. Carbon dioxide suffocates. A man descending into a pit has no warning. 1 breath, and his vision blurs. 2 breaths, and his legs give out. 3, and he's unconscious. He falls forward into the waste, face down, drowning. His partners above might not even notice immediately. By the time they do, it's too late. Pulling a body from a deep cesspit in the dark, without proper equipment, is nearly impossible. And even if they manage it, the man is already dead. Records from medieval London describe dozens of such deaths. Men found floating. Men found submerged. Men who simply vanished into the pits and were never recovered. The job didn't just risk your life. It promised your death. Richard the Raker. That's his name in the records. The year is 1326. He's a Gong farmer in London, working the cesspits near Cheapside. One night, he's working his own property, his own cesspit. Perhaps he's trying to save money. Perhaps he's desperate. He descends alone. The wooden plank covering the pit is rotted. It gives way. He falls into his own waste. He tries to climb out, but the walls are slick. His hands find no grip. He sinks. The cesspit is deep, deeper than he is tall. He drowns, slowly, horribly. His body is found the next morning, still submerged. The coroner's report is blunt. Richard the Raker met his death by drowning in his own excrement. It's recorded in official documents. A death so absurd, so grotesque, it becomes a warning. But it doesn't stop. Men keep descending. Men keep dying. Because someone has to. If this glimpse into history's darkest, most visceral professions is pulling you in, if you want to uncover more untold stories of survival at society's brutal edge, subscribe now. We dig into the lives history forgot, the jobs that built civilization from the filth up. Join us! Now, why would anyone choose this? Desperation, poverty so deep that even this work, this horror, is better than starvation. Gong farmers were social outcasts, untouchables. They lived on the edges of towns, avoided, shunned. Taverns refused them entry. Churches seated them separately. People crossed the street to avoid them. But they were necessary. Cities couldn't function without them. And so society made a deal. We'll pay you. Well, but you'll never be one of us. You'll live apart, die apart. And when you're gone, we'll forget you existed. That was the contract. And for men with no other options, it was accepted. The money was substantial. A gong farmer could earn in one night what a laborer earned in a week. In some cities, they were among the highest paid workers. But the wealth was cursed. You could own a house. You could buy food, but you'd eat alone. Your children, if you had any, were marked. Gong farmer's son, gong farmer's daughter. The stench clung to you, even after washing. Medieval soap wasn't strong enough. The smell soaked into your skin, your hair, your very being. People said they could identify a gong farmer by scent alone, even in a crowded market. So you lived isolated. You spent your money on drink, trying to forget. You worked until your body broke. And when you died, often young, often sick, you were buried quickly, quietly, in unmarked graves, because even in death, society wanted to forget you. The money bought survival, not dignity, never dignity. The diseases were relentless. Parasitic worms, cholera, dysentery, typhoid. Every shift in the cesspit exposed you to pathogens that medical science wouldn't understand for centuries. Cuts and scrapes, inevitable in the work, became infected instantly. Sepsis was common. Chronic diarrhea, vomiting, fever that never quite left. Your immune system, constantly battered, eventually collapsed. Most gong farmers didn't live past 40. Many died younger. Respiratory issues from inhaling gases left you wheezing, coughing blood. Your teeth rotted from malnutrition and toxin exposure. Your skin developed sores that wouldn't heal. And there was no health care. No doctors who would treat you. You suffered in silence. Worked until you couldn't. And when you finally collapsed, face down in another man's cesspit, your body was hauled out and dumped in a pauper's grave. The work killed you. Slowly, if you were lucky. Quickly, if you weren't. London. A wealthy merchant's cesspit hasn't been emptied in years. It's massive, deep, dangerously full. A team of 5 gong farmers is hired. They arrive at midnight. The first man descends, then the second, then the third. They're working the bottom layers, the oldest, most compacted waste. The air is thick. Suddenly, the first man collapses, just drops. The second tries to climb out, but he's disoriented. He falls. The third screams for help, but his voice is weak. He faints. The two men above panic. Do they descend and risk death? Or do they run? They run. By morning, all 5 are dead. 3 in the pit. 2 collapsed nearby from gas exposure. The bodies are left for days. No one will retrieve them. Eventually, the pit is sealed. Permanently. The merchant moves. The house is abandoned. And in the rubble, beneath the ground, 5 men remain. Entombed in excrement. Forgotten. The Gong Farmers disappeared in the 19th century. The Industrial Revolution brought sewer systems, underground pipes, water treatment. Suddenly, cesspits were obsolete. The profession vanished almost overnight. No ceremonies, no recognition, just gone. But what they did mattered. For centuries, they kept cities from drowning in their own filth. They prevented plagues. They made urban life possible. Without them, London, Paris, Rome, every major medieval city would have collapsed under the weight of its waste. They were the invisible foundation of civilization. And they paid for it with their health, their dignity, their lives. Today, we flush and forget. We don't think about where it goes. We don't think about the infrastructure. And we certainly don't think about the men who, for centuries, descended into darkness with nothing but a shovel and a prayer. You were there. You smelled it. You saw them. And now you know. Every comfort we take for granted was built on someone's suffering, someone's sacrifice, someone's shit-covered hands.